it is. But yeah, I do. I definitely like that idea with the walking pad. But there's a lot of gimmicks that come into the fold that are hot and then they disappear. Like
Oh,
remember
that's fun.
the seated bike? The pedals.
Oh yeah,
Garmin,
they used to do that.
Garmin bike.
Yeah,
Yeah, they still
yeah.
sell that though to old people now. It's more of an
Well,
old
I
people
got it
service.
for my
I bought one.
pops.
I got one for my mom's.
Yeah,
Very
and
true.
I'm like, Dad, you gotta use this. And he used it for one day and was like, what is this?
She used
What
it
is
for a
this?
bit. She used it for like the first year. Now
I'm like,
she's
Oh,
what? Now I gave him an exercise bike to use, and he was all over that. He enjoyed
nice.
the exercise bike, and that's
Oh, that's good.
fine.
That's
Even
good.
the since we're talking about that stuff, the manual walking pads with the rollers. I wanted to get him that, but I feel like it would at his age the balance, you know, situation wouldn't work. So I feel like he would have a hard time getting on and getting off. Maybe if I got it for him like 15, 20 years ago, maybe he would have more
Mm.
sense about how to manage his balance. But at his age, nah, he's in the home stretch, as you say, home stretch. But
Sometimes
yeah,
they surprise you, man. Sometimes they surprise you. I put my mom on the rowing machine, and she loved it. And she used to be scared of the stairmaster, and now she's like, "Oh, it's not so bad. I could do this."
and then her in the sled push. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, she loves the
yeah,
sled push. She
loves a
loves
sled
the
push.
sled push.
That's her
I
favorite.
hate the sled push, and she
yeah.
always
That's
wants to do it.
I hate
I
the sled
hate it.
push.
Me too.
Uh, it's
I'm
either
surprised
either
you hate it being a football guy.
that's again, that's why I hate it. You gotta balance on there
Mm,
standing
It's
on
the
there
trauma.
and you're doing it,
mm,
back and forth for 40, 50 yards. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And then on top of that, instead of the push, you have the pull feature too. Get the
Mm.
rope and you just go reverse. Man, that
I don't
is
mind the
tedious.
pull. It's the push I don't like. Pull I don't like.
Again, with my knees, push
Uh,
and pulls are just not the thing anymore. Just walking upstairs is an issue for me now, and I have to fix that. But anyways, we are here, Darker with the
yeah.
Ginger Hue. Can we say impromptu? Yes. Everything's
Well,
impromptu
it's
here.
yeah. That's not
Everything's
everything, but
impromptu.
this is.
No, I
We
mean
had actually it's not. Don't use
It
impromptu. We'll
isn't.
use pivot. It's a pivot because we
pivots.
had something
Yeah.
planned and it went
Yes.
awry, so we had to pivot.
Yeah. So when you have lemons, make ginger ale. That's what they say. Yeah. No,
What?
no, no. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways,
I was like, I like how we were like, yeah, wait.
Yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
I might use that now, just because. I
Just to
like how
see
it
if
threw people
just
Yeah.
to
off.
see if people are paying attention.
I was gonna say,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yes, we're
lemons make
here.
ginger ale.
We're here doing our thing again, Slang Hugh, Sir Tokes, and our special guest, Miss Devin M. Jones. Welcome, 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 everyone. And I'm going to let the one that is spearheading
Hmm.
this whole
Hmm.
podcast to take
Oh,
lead.
wait, before we start there, we got to, we always start with what did you do to make yourself better today? Bum, bum, bum. Who would like
Okay,
to go first?
you're gonna go first, Lang, because I know you usually never want to go first. So now,
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. I don't know if it qualifies as making myself better today, but I woke up feeling very energetic, full of ideas. As Devin could tell you, my brain was on
oh,
fire. I don't know
I'm
what.
gonna say,
Well,
brain is on
we were
fire.
we're, we're we went out last night. I was drinking. Maybe it's the stress relief of dancing and
Maybe you're
having a good
still
time.
drunk. Maybe you're still drunk.
That's why he
Nah,
has
that
the
usually
tea.
makes me. I mean, not impossible, but I'm definitely not.
We didn't
But
drink. We didn't drink that
yeah, I
much.
didn't do that much. Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't.
So I'm gonna attribute it to the exercise of dancing and vibing with my boy Rome.
Mm,
Uh, at a nice, we went to a Corey Dawkins party called Rooted. It was a house music party, so it's a different change of pace, but we had
oh,
good time as usual. And we danced up
vibe.
till my feet hurt and still hurt. So I think that's what contributed to the brain opening up. because we had to be open-minded to go into that environment. That's what it is. See how I brought that around though? That's what it
Okay.
is. So that's what I did to make myself better today.
Okay. Well, Devin, how about you?
I slept in.
Mm.
One was a wide awake, the other one slept in.
I know. I got a good night's sleep, and I was like, which is hard because my brain doesn't turn off. So my brain actually was able to turn off. That could also have been the alcohol, and I slept a full night's sleep. Like I don't even know when he got up. I woke up and I was like, it's silent, and he had his headphones in at his computer. I was like, what the? That's usually me. It's usually the other way around.
That's a fact.
So I was like, yeah, it was nice to just sleep and just like not feel super stressed for a day.
Could we agree between us three that our brains usually never turn off because of what we do in terms of content or being creative? Is that almost like a drawback for who we are? Seeing that you are a self-made woman, and again, Slang is an artist of many things, and again, I have all my other things. Do you think that is a drawback for being who we are, that the
I feel
brain
like
just never turns
that's-
off?
I feel like that's pretty normal with the way our society is right now. I think I don't know many people that don't say that their brains never turn off.
Okay. You're saying it's the new norm.
Yeah, I feel like that's the new norm, and that's kind of like what's been kind of ingrained in us, you know. And I feel like that's why, well, especially our generation, the younger generation, in setting boundaries. Yeah, they're learning to set boundaries. They're like, no, I need rest. I need sleep, you know, and we don't like it, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's for me, I'm trying to find that happy medium because like I work with a lot of younger people. And so trying to keep my work ethic, but also set boundaries at the same time is trying to find that balance for each other.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think that's one thing that all of us need to learn how to do correctly. One or two people will say, yeah, I do this and I do that. And really, truly, is it enough to kind of balance what is going on in the world, in your world, I should say, not just the world, just in your world, because everybody goes through different things, different ways. And that brings me to the point of what I did to better myself today. I remember we had a podcast about the gas situation and so forth. So I'm like, I was ready to go out and go shopping and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But in great Tunde fashion, I got my daughter to give me a list of items to go grocery shopping. And instead of going out, I went and used Instacart, and they shopped for me. Now, that is a great tool when you need it. I per se didn't need it, but I wanted to try it to the full extent. People go and buy certain things from Skip Edition and whatnot, but I wanted to see this. And sure enough, it was priced. Everything was priced the way it should be. They have a delivery charge depending on how much stuff you have, and then you give your tip. And I'm like, well, this person's going to be shopping for me. I'm going to give him a decent tip, and I did. And it was scheduled to drop this morning, and it was dropped on time, properly dropped in front of my door. Everything I needed was there. I was like, this is not bad. Now, will I do it all the time? No, but again, it leaves me from stressing to go out and searching and watching and doing all this stuff. It was a bit of a less stressful morning for me, so I got to stay in and just pack the groceries when when they got here. So that was my thing for me today. So
when I was I was at a retreat in January, and one of the presenters, she was talking about what do you need to pay for to release some of the stress in your life. And it was a women's retreat, right? And it's especially women. They're like women in general. I think we take a lot of the emotional weight of home stuff a lot of the time in traditional households. And so a lot of the women, she was saying she has a house manager. So she has someone that manages her household for her. So she's like, okay, your kids need to do this. Your husband's going here. You're doing like that. That's her thing that takes the stress off of her. And then I was talking about myself. I have meal delivery, right? Because for me, if I like, as soon as I wake up, I was like, what do I have to eat today? What do I have to do this? If I know that I don't have to think about eating, that is like a huge chunk of stress off of me that I don't need to think about. You know what I mean? And that
1000%.
and that like totally takes that stress off of me. And then, so I was talking to one of the other ladies, she's like, oh, maybe I should, because we had a conversation earlier. So I knew I knew what her thing was. So she's like, oh, maybe I should do a meal plan or get a house cleaner. And I was like, I think you actually need a driver, because she drives every 3 days a week. She drives an hour and a half, and she has a hip issue because she drives so much. Hour and a half each way, I should say, to go to her gym to work out.
That's good.
Right. And so I was just like, why don't you get a driver? So if you have a driver, while you're driving there, you can sit in a more comfortable position. So you're not putting the pressure on the hip. You could lie down if you wanted to, if you have what kind of car you got. And then going to and from there, then you can do other things that you need to get done, right? Because you have someone driving you. And if you want to, you could just chit chat with him, because she's semi-retired. And so she's like, I was like, you could also just choose someone to chit chat with, right? And like, because every time she had to go for drives, she was one of the organizers, she would be like, oh, can you come with me? So she wouldn't be by herself. And that's something that she enjoys, having conversations with someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? The companionship, if she has to drive all the time. And so she was like, oh yeah. So you have to kind of think about what are the things in your life that, like, yeah, it may cost more a little bit, but it also is going to take so much off of your brain that the cost kind of, it's an investment. It's an investment in your
balances,
in your
like
sanity.
you said, it balances off, right? So I think it's more of a greater, I think it tips the scale more in your favor for the less stress than it does the cost, depending, of course, what type of level. You know, there's the basic, there's the intermediate, and that premium service. So based on what you're paying for, definitely should ease your stress.
It's also very relative, like you're saying, to your stress, because those things you guys named, like driving, for me, I wish I could have a driver, because I do not like driving. But the other stuff those are, for me, I guess, difficult to give somebody else control of, because I feel like those are the stress reliefs. Like cooking is a stress relief for me. Going grocery shopping is somewhat of a stress relief for me. It's my time to do what I want to do. It's my actual full control of my life in those moments. Literally,
that makes sense.
I get to cook what I want, the way I want to cook it, and also being a creative. It's an art form in my mind. Like cooking is an art form, or picking up ingredients. Like the whole process in terms of eating is an art form. So I enjoy doing that stuff myself. But again, it's relative. It's about what you enjoy doing. I don't necessarily enjoy house cleaning, but I enjoy the satisfaction of doing it myself.
Yeah.
But and that's in between. Even speaking to the whole relative, it's in between for me, where I think I could pay somebody to do that, but then I might be very meticulous about how they do it. So is that adding or reducing stress?
Right. Your clean is.
Am I going to come behind? Yeah. Am I going to come behind and be like, did you? I'll just do it myself. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a give. That's a give and take. I might get used to it. In fact, everything is a get used to thing. I could get used to a chef cooking for me. I could get used to all of those things. But and currently constructed, definitely when it comes to food, my mindset as I've been raised is do it more myself than let other people do it.
Understandable.
Not that I'm against either. I'm not against none of this stuff, but I'm just putting it in context.
That makes all the sense in the world. when you say relative to yourself, you're right. Some people may live in a very busy city like Toronto, like the GTA, and driving is a hassle. Whereas in my city,
Sucks.
Winnipeg, I mean, Devin knows I mean, you can get from one place to the other in 20 minutes and not see any traffic at all. At the same time,
Yeah,
like
it's not bad.
comparing it to the 401 and whatnot,
It's
I
not
Well,
bad.
can
anything
understand.
compared to the 401.
But people,
Besides New
Exactly.
people
York
do
and
drive.
LA.
In Winnipeg, they do drive a little bit slower. So that's the part that
Yeah,
I'm like, come on.
exactly. No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So relative, I'm like, you know what? Some people say, man, you don't need to have a driver in Winnipeg. I'm like, well, sometimes you do, because the stresses that people do drive out here is like they are considered the worst drivers in Canada, just so you know.
Who?
Oh,
The worst. They
Who?
have been
in Winnipeg?
Winnipeg
Really?
worst. They
Really?
are,
That's where I learned to drive.
Makes sense now. It all comes together.
hence why she doesn't really drive much.
Who? I drive all the time.
Yes,
Oh,
you
that's unfortunate for the people there in Toronto.
It's so
Yeah.
funny. I feel like I really learned to drive because I actually didn't mind driving. Because I worked at Enterprise Rental Car.
Okay.
When I was in university, I was a car prep, and then after I graduated, that was my first real job. I did their management trainee program, and you're driving. You have to. Everybody knows Enterprise is the company that picks you up, right? So you're driving all day. So and you get to drive all sorts of different cars. And so I feel like that's how I learned to drive, having to drive all over Mississauga, Toronto, all the way to Markham. Sometimes you'd have to go from Mississauga to Markham to do a run.
It's a good way to learn the city too.
Oh yeah. I know the city so well. And people are always like, I was like, oh yeah, I know this because of that job. You had to learn to fly. And this is before GPS. We had maps, like physical maps.
Oh, MapQuest.
MapQuest.
Not even MapQuest, literally like a physical.
Oh, the big yellow.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
We
my
each
dad
had
used to
a
buy
map.
the book. You had the actual map?
Yeah,
The
we literally
fold-out?
would have a map, and you're like, okay, you're going to take this road to this road, and you're going to go here.
Yeah, that would be before MapQuest. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean,
This
my
is
dad used to get
2001, 2002,
and
2001, 2002.
it would section each area into different pages, so you don't have to be really like, if you know you're going somewhere far, then yes, you bring out the big map. But if you're going in blocks and you need to go from here to there, it gives you that little district type of thing, and then you go to page 69 and you go check whatever. I'm like, okay, that's it. So,
I remember those trips to New York using those big ass maps.
I know. And then did we have we had cell phones, but not really. Like it was like expensive.
Yeah, no.
It was expensive. Yeah. We didn't have cell phones like that. So if you were on a run, you called when you got there, or you pulled over and used a payphone. Remember we saw a payphone last night, babe?
Payphones.
Yes, we did.
Oh my goodness.
I was wondering. I wanted to try it, to be honest.
They still do work. The hard lines do work.
I don't even see them. That's the thing.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing, because they need them. But
some people do.
No, I think a lot of people do, right? Because again,
phones die.
No, that's valid.
Phones die, and sometimes in the weirdest places, right?
That's a fact.
On the highways, you should have them on there. At least
like on off ramps, off turn-offs.
Just in general, when you're driving, say I did a drive from Winnipeg to Toronto. I saw no payphones. Like there should be one payphone on a lengthy period of.
They tend to have them at the
I was going to say gas stations.
Yeah, they stops.
How many people don't know or say, you know what, I have enough gas to get to the next station, and all of a sudden they get there and they're stuck at White's Road in the middle of nowhere, and you're looking. And you
this
see
sounds
fog,
very specific.
Yeah, I was about to say. When he says how many people, he means he's the many people.
I didn't that's the road that I remember driving from Winnipeg to Toronto, and I'm like, man, because again, I was driving I think in a rainstorm, and I'm like, man, I can't, and with the trucks and all that, I said, I got to pull off to the side because I don't trust not only myself, but even I heard that the truck drivers have fear, they fear no one, they just think they own the road. So I'm like, let me turn off. So say if something did happen and I didn't have my cell phone, is there a payphone within distance to kind of go through? And even if it's a collect call, boom, collect call and call somebody that's around, or a service that's around that can help you out. Who knows? But again, I digress.
Uh,
Anyways, well,
so
Miss Jones, lead us to the promised land.
I was going to segue when we were talking about.
my people go. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't. I was going to segue earlier, but then we got sidetracked again. I'll tell you where this came from. So I myself.
You yourself?
Me, myself. I and I.
She's been indoctrinated. She's been indoctrinated.
I've been hanging around Omar's dad.
That's funny.
I have been talking, like I always talk to myself. It's every day. But I'm having a hard time right now with dealing with my own changes within my body due to perimenopause, due to post-surgery, due to being in my late 40s, coming to close to 50. And so my question was, how did you get here? I sang the Deborah Cox song also.
How did you get here? I'll leave it there.
Canadian.
The song does not connect.
Yes.
Just so
Anyways.
you know, she's Canadian.
It's very. So I sang the Deborah Cox song, How Did You Get Here? And as a reminder of all the things that we've had, like I've been through, I've seen, I've done in order to be the Devin that I am right now. Right? So I've been very introspective at that. Whenever I get in the feeling where I feel like I get to a point where I feel like I want to be down on myself, I'm like, let's rewind. Let's rewind and remind ourselves where we've been, what we've done, and what it took to get to here, right? And so my question was about your self-love journey. What did it take for you to get to where you are? And what was the other part? Oh, something about maintaining.
How do you maintain it? Yeah. So let's start with that. Let's start with what did you do to get to where you are, and then
what are you doing to maintain it? Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of splinters after that.
So that's where it started from. Just my own introspection of where I'm at right now, and where, in terms of my self-love, it's always, and it's a journey, but it's also like cyclical. Like you're constantly going in a circle. You're like love, 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 like
it's almost like a bus route.
Yeah. So it's like waves. It's like waves, right? You go in waves of more or less. And I like that Omar's wearing his Spread Love shirt as we talk about this.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys, feel free to jump in, whoever wants to go first. What prompted your self-love journey? Like when, where, what kicked it off?
Which time?
The original.
I don't know. Would you like to go first, Stokes, or you want me to go first? How do you want to do
it? I'll be honest. Don't think I've had a time that I've given myself to myself, if that makes any sense. I've been always, since I was born, I've been always trying to protect and provide shelter, fix someone. And I'll go back to when I was, again, living at home in elementary school. I have younger brothers that are coming up, made sure they're good, right? Going off into middle school, same thing, right? And then you get friendships, you start to build friendships, and you want to make sure your friends are good. And then you go into later times of your life when say your parents are not doing so well, you're then back to protection mode. I have daughters. I'm still in protection mode. Um, any type of relationship that I was in provider mode. I never, again, to this day, I think I've never really did any self love that stands out. Now, once in a while,
Just
I cut
happened.
you off. Eliza said, "Nah, B, we're
That
good.
was
We're
very
good. You're done."
distracting.
It's such a great moment. Like,
I know. I literally was like,
what the hell? I don't know. This thing just went out on me.
Just
oh,
went poof.
the circle light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
been
plugged in.
acting up. No, it's been acting up lately. It did that to me recently too, one day, and I was like, and it wouldn't turn on for like 2 days, and then all of a sudden it turned on. Like no reason.
So no point in trying to fix it, is what you're saying?
No, I'd say let it go.
Time to purchase.
All right. Go ahead.
You're fine.
Sorry about that. That
No, I
sucks.
mean sometimes this happens. We
Mhm.
we going with it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've always been helping others.
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess I'll say I don't know how to help myself. Now, I've had the time and moments that I would be say working out or eating healthy, but there was a goal to that. I was trying to set the standard for people to follow what I'm doing as I was a personal trainer. So again, it really wasn't for me, it was for someone else. So I definitely, like I said, when I heard the topic, I said, you guys are gonna be shocked that I have never really taken care of myself. I mean, a perfect example. I told Sly I was not feeling well, and I still have not been 100%. I haven't even reached the doctor yet.
Hmm.
Nah,
I
bro.
rather I rather go to work and do the job,
Nah.
right? Until I can't no more. In the end, that's something
Nah.
that I don't know how to turn off, right? I can't say, you know what, hey boss, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna go take a 2 hour break and go get checked out. I, I don't know if I'm afraid of the reaction of asking that. That's what I'm saying, right? Because
Mm,
this world is kind of crazy. What do you mean you need to? What's wrong with you? I don't see anything wrong with you. People tend to question because they don't see what is going on with you. But
Mhm.
internally, as I said, like I'm physically messed up, and I'm on the brink. I'm on the edge. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Don't know what's gonna happen a week from now. But I just keep on just walking on that rope just to make sure that I can finish the day. When I finish the day, come here, collapse, and I'm done. So yeah,
Mhm.
self love
uh,
and me, we're not really roommates yet. I like that.
Mhm.
I would like to, but I'm not. I just don't know how to. Let's just say that.
I want to address what you just said, and
Mm.
then kind of answer the question for myself. There's a few places I want to go. You guys just made my
Yeah.
brain go all over the place. Firstly, which I'm sure this is not something you don't know or haven't heard before, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So all of the talk of, and this is part of probably my self love journey and my self acceptance, which is key. We'll come back to that, the word acceptance of self. But all the talk that you had just now about providing and protecting and making sure everybody else is good, you can't do that when you're sick. And worse, you definitely can't do it when you're not here.
Mhm.
So if you could change your perspective of that, how do I protect, provide people to, I have to make sure I'm okay, otherwise I cannot do for others at all. Meaning, I guess what I'm saying is you're defeating your own purpose. You've trained yourself one way, but perhaps you got to start training yourself the other way. In that, if you're not good, you eventually can never go to work. Especially in not. I, sorry, I'm going to curse, but fuck the work part, which brings me to another thing. But fuck the work part.
Mm.
Your daughter will not have you here if you're not taking care of yourself and your health. And then who protects her then?
Mhm.
Mm.
Who takes care of her then? Like I listen. This is kind of an off topic but on topic story about. I was watching this thing where this gentleman was talking about the stupid thing he did, it ending up himself in jail. But a guy was making a pass at his girl, and in his mind, to protect his girl, he went after the guy, and they fought. It led to gunplay, and they shot after each other, and he ended up in jail for a few years.
Mhm.
And one of the OGs in jail took him aside. Like, he told the story to a bunch of guys in jail, and one of the OGs in jail took him aside and said, "Yeah, man. So you're a real man, man. You took care of your woman, bro. You protected your woman, bro." And he's like, "Yeah, man. I had to do what I had to do." And the OG said, "So who's protecting her now?" And he's like, "Damn, I'm an idiot. I did all that to protect her, and now she's out there by herself, open
Yeah.
for the wolves." So, I mean, again, that's an extreme story, but it's not.
It
It's
makes
not.
sense.
At least he could get back to his woman. I'm speaking in terms of your health, dog,
Yeah.
and this is for everybody on the panel. And I even bring it back again to we were originally talking about how our brains don't turn off. And I let you guys go. I'm not that guy, not 100%. I am that guy in terms of creation, where it's hard for me to sleep because my mind is thinking about what I could create next or what I could do next. But I have come to terms with the idea that you do need rest from everything.
Mm.
We talk about this all the time. You need a break from everything,
Yeah.
and that includes work, that includes making money, that includes taking care of other people. And in fact, it also includes taking care of yourself. But these
Yeah.
are all within what's the word I'm looking for? It's all relative, and it's all purposeful timing. We have to do these things to benefit ourselves as well as the people around us. But you can't overdo anything. You can drown in a spoonful of water.
Yes.
So, yes, my brain doesn't turn off, but I intentionally do make it turn off so that I can get that rest. And there was a point in life, to bring it again to the self love thing. There was a point in life where I was I accepted the idea that doing that made me lazy and made me not ambitious, or made me this, that, and the third. And I had to come to terms with the idea. Well, that's not who I am. So accept who you are. And if other people think that you're this, whatever. So let them kill themselves. And I literally mean that, kill themselves to compete with the rest of the world. I'm not
Mm.
saying there's anything wrong as long as you're happy doing what you're doing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with competition, because healthy competition is a good thing. I'm not
Yeah.
saying there is anything wrong with ambition, because you should have some ambition.
Of
The
course.
problem is we have a lot of death by comparison. And again, I mean that literally. We are killing ourselves because we think we have to attain a certain standard that has been set in front of us by other people. If you want that, you go get that. But make sure it's something you want to do, not because your parents told you you should do it, or your wife thinks you should do it, or your kids. You think your kids think want you to do it, because a lot of times parents, especially, are doing these things for their children, and the children could care less. They just want them there.
True. Very true.
And
Very
that
true.
extends beyond children. That extends to your partner, to your parents, to your whatever, your friends, the loved ones in your life. They want your presence more than what you can give them materially.
That's
Because,
true.
and I understand the setting a standard of work ethic. All these things are valid things within reason, and sometimes we go outside of our own reason because we think we're supposed to, which turns into we have to, which
Mhm.
turns into we need to. When the truth is, it's all a lot of want, and want is delegated or controlled by the individual. Don't let your want be controlled by the world. Long-winded. My self-love journey, my self-love journey comes from accepting who
Wait,
I
can I ask a
am.
question? Sorry. Do
Mhm.
you want more light?
I think I need it. I just didn't want to stop
The
the pod to
lamp, the
get it.
lamp, the lamp in the corner.
Okay, I'll get it
Just
when
hold
somebody
it.
else is talking.
'Cause I was going to say, if you do it now, so then you're lit up while you're talking.
All right. Edit.
Well, just to go off
Wait.
what Slang was saying right now.
I thought we were gonna. If do you want to just edit it? Just cut that
Yeah,
part
we can stop.
instead of us. I know instead of us talking over it. So that.
Thanks, Slang. Give me more work.
Sorry.
No, it ain't me. It ain't me, son. Oh, I can't pull that lamp. I'm not by the bed. I'm by the door.
Yeah, but unplug it.
Is there an outlet beside?
Just unplug it and then replug it on your side. That's what I
Mark
used
the
to do.
time. Write down the time.
I got it. I'm going to go through it anyways. I'll scrub through this one. Transition and all.
Makeshift studio vibes.
Yep. Got to start somewhere.
It's a fact.
So I might come to Winnipeg twice this year.
Twice. Why? Who's getting married?
My mom is turning 80.
That's the only reason.
Who
That's
really
the only reason it is.
Either someone's getting married or
might be
other
the
way.
plug. Oh, there we go.
But okay, so mom's turning 80. Nice.
Might be the plug.
So big party.
Better?
Better.
Much.
But when I was seeing your leg. Seeing your
You
leg.
can see my leg?
Yeah.
See, it's funny how this thing works. So it doesn't show my leg when I'm looking.
There. That's better.
You're good. Oh, yeah. You're good there.
Okay. Where was I?
Your self-love journey, Slang.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, self-love journey, ultimately was acceptance of myself. Other elements in there. That's why I was asking, like, at what point? At this point in my life, I think I love myself the most than I ever have since being like a teenager with ignorant self-love. I say that because you don't really know anything. You don't even know yourself. So it's somewhat of a false confidence a lot of the times when we're teenagers or younger, or we place our confidence in the wrong things, quote unquote. But as an adult, I probably reached the most self-love that I've had, again, with acceptance of self, and also accepting the things that I don't like about myself and trying to change them or actively make a change. And it's not always perfect. Like Devin was saying, there is a cyclical pattern or a hills and valleys thing where you at one point you're like, yeah, I'm killing myself to do better here, and then not so much on this other area. This area I'm killing, not so much in the other area. So for me, it's like in terms of health, I feel like that was one of the pivotal points. Going to the gym, working out daily, or 5 days a week, 4 days a week, that came out of heartbreak. That came out of needing something else to focus on, other than the X or how I felt being in my feelings. I said I took that to the gym, and that turned into a process or a continuous routine of showing up for myself every day. The gym is that thing. Consistency gave me consistency. It gave me the like I say, gym lessons for life. The idea that it's a slow process, but you're gonna get to that goal eventually if you keep working at it, type thing. So that for me, that's one of the journeys anyway.
Okay. That's
Yeah. I think mine's kind of similar in terms of, I say heartbreak, but not in terms of a relationship. It is a relationship, but not that kind of relationship. My relationship to my parents broke, and it broke me. And it took me to my deepest, darkest depths, where I had to get to a point where I was like, this is not living. So either I don't live or I start living. And as you can see, I made the choice to start living. And started with a choice. I was like, one, I'm going to start looking at this life more positively, whenever I start getting negative, I got to pull. I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. Right? That's not what we do. We are a positive person and we're going to be more positive. So that was one, changing my point of view on how I saw things, and starting to search for who I was as an individual, me, Devin. And that's when I let go of everything that my parents told me. Everything, like what it's like to be Caribbean, what it's like to be Black, what it's like to be a woman, all of that stuff, none of that stuff mattered. Right? I was like, what do I like? What do I want to see? What do I want to do? And I was like, I'm going to find that. So I just started trying everything, except hard drugs. Never got there.
Yeah, right.
Thankfully. But I was very controlled to the point where, like, I didn't drink because in order to be in control, I have to be in control all the time. Right. And so I had to let go of that. And honestly, it was like the most freeing thing to, like, the first time I got drunk and sloppy, it was like embarrassing, but it was also like, oh, but I didn't die. Okay. I'm gonna be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, like the world didn't end. Like, that person laughed at me, but I didn't die. Like, I'm still here. This person helped me. You know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like, oh, the world didn't end when I messed up. You know what I mean? The world didn't end because I got embarrassed for a second, you know? And then all of that was like a buildup of just like building on top of itself, of like, okay, trying something and being like, oh, I like this. Oh, I do not like this. And like, when you don't like it, it's like, okay, I just don't do that anymore. Right. But I didn't know I didn't like it until I tried it. And then I tried something else and I'd be like, oh, this is so good. And when I say that, I'm like, I'm being very vague, but like, yeah, I liked drinking. So now I drink. Omar knows that I like drinking. I don't drink a ton. I really pretty much, I said, what drinking a ton to me is like having to have a drink like every day.
Okay.
I drink when we go out, right? Even when we go for dinner, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if sometimes I'll have like a drink, but most of the time I'm like,
depends how you feel, I guess.
Yeah, like it's just on a feel. But like, if I'm in a social situation, yeah, I'll have a couple drinks. It's great. That's fine.
But sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that is the control part of the thing, right? Like, as you were speaking and you were saying you drank, you got sloppy, you didn't die, and then you realized you like drinking, but you still had enough wherewithal, or you still were able to control how much you drink going forward.
Yeah, because it's just like, I know what I want to feel like, right? Like, I can control, like, I was like, I don't want to feel like, as much as that sloppiness was like a wake up for me, I was like, I don't want to feel like that all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like, I learned from that, like, there's extremes to it. I don't want to be that sloppy and crazy all the time, but I also didn't mind being like a little out of control.
And I speak to that because I'm saying a lot of us are afraid of trying things to lose quote unquote control, or to not be ourselves, quote unquote ourselves, not realizing or not knowing that that's a version of yourself that you might actually enjoy, and you could do it in a certain level of moderation. For me, alcohol is probably marijuana for me. Weed for me was that thing, and there was a definite period of, I feel like I'm doing this too much. Okay, so I'm going to stop for like 3 months and reset. And that for me was not only the self-control, it was discipline. It was like, oh, I could do this when I want to do this.
Yes.
And even if you're lying to yourself in those moments, it still helps you feel like you have control over this part of your life. And you do. Ultimately, you do. Like I always say, whatever your brain gets you into, your brain can get you out of. That's just what I think.
Yeah, but it's like, it was more the loss of control. letting go of control for even just a night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like when I'm drinking, like we went out last night even, and then when I had like a couple drinks, because like he knows I haven't been feeling well for the week because I've just been overwhelmed and overstressed. Like I hadn't had a day off in like 2 weeks. So Friday was my first day off, and I was like, you could hear it in my voice. My sinuses were all clogged up. Like my body was breaking down because I was just so exhausted. So like literally rested most of Friday, most of Saturday, to the point where I could kind of like, because he was like, do you still want to go out? And I was like, yeah, because I think I'm just feeling sick because I just feel like overwhelmed with work stuff. And we going into that house thing, which was something new, right? Like I forever, if you ever ask me, I'm always like, I don't like house. I don't like house. And then he's like, we're going to a house thing. And I was like, oh, mother.
I wasn't gonna tell her.
I know. Because he knows I'm like, oh, house. And I was just like, I was like, whatever. And it was something new. So I was just kind of like, and we were going to meet his friends. So it was about meeting his friends. It wasn't about, you know,
it was about the actual event. But.
Exactly. So it was just about going and meeting up with his friend. So we went, and I was just like, but when I go somewhere, and Omar knows this about me, if I'm there, I'm just going to be there. Like I'm not that person who goes in and is like, oh, I don't like house. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all know people like that. But like I went in, and literally from the moment I walked in, I just started dancing. And then I was just like, and I closed my eyes, and it was like, you know, part of it was a little bit of intoxication, but a lot of it was the music and just like letting myself be free. And it was just like, I actually found it very freeing. And it was like, the only other music that I feel like that with is soca music, right? And so like tying the two together, and I was like, oh, another avenue for me to feel like I could feel free, you know? So it was nice. I was like, I'm happy that we did it. So thank you, Omar, for taking.
Thank Rome. It's really Rome. He's invited us a few times, and we finally accepted to go. And that was one of the things, that was one of his selling points all the time. Like he feels a spiritual freeness, or excuse me, a spiritual awakening when he goes to this thing. It touches him deeper than just the music. Mm-hmm. And he's always saying that to me. Always saying, and I like house music. I grew up going to house parties, but I didn't feel like that. Like I don't always feel like that. But to Devin's point, and even to Rome's point, what I forgot is there's no pretense in the room. Other parties, there's sometimes a too cool for school vibe going on.
Yep.
People are standing around watching each other and sizing each other up. Whereas in this room, people are just doing whatever they want. There's dancing, they're having fun, the community is there. Mm-hmm. Which is very similar to soca events that that's true. Depending on which ones, but certain soca events are like that. Like if they're a real soca event, that's the vibe there. Mm-hmm. So that experience was good, which again I think contributed to why I feel so good today.
Yeah. And I feel like that for me too, that's also what triggered me to want to talk about this, is because like I was like in my body. There was like, you're literally just like my eyes closed, my head's back, and you're just going to the music, right? And it's just like this freeing kind of just like, I almost like, you know, when you see in like religious, people having religious spiritual experiences where it's like, there was a point where it felt like that. And so that reminded me of like, oh, we still can experience new things in this body. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, it took me back to that. And it was like that, like I said, that was my awakening point. And that's the point I always have to come back to, that awakening point of, you don't have to be what everybody wants you to be. I need you to figure out who you want to be. Right. And that's why a lot of these emotions come, because I'm at a turning point right now in my career where I have a big decision to make as to which direction that I go. And I feel like that's where everything else comes up, right? Like it's so many different things. I'm like, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in this world? And it's to come back to that each and every time. I would rather not come back to it at a low point, but that seems to be my thing. Like that's my thing.
It's a lot of people's. I think that's a lot of people's thing.
That's my thing. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, like because you in the highs, you're like la 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 la.
Yeah, you're not thinking about. You don't think about losing when you're winning.
Yeah, exactly.
At least most people don't.
I do.
I don't.
But
I was gonna say I do too, but it's. I don't think. I think I think it's a different way of thinking. You think of losing differently when you're winning than when you're actually losing.
So I hope,
quote unquote.
I hope it's like, and I always say this, like the main reason that I always tell like my low story whenever I do like talks or I have to do presentations, I always talk about that low point that I reached in order to soar, because so many people get to that low point and they don't know where to go from there. But if they know that, hey, at least this person got to this super low point and they were able to pull themselves out, I can probably do that too. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I'm special, but I'm not that special that I'm the only person that can do that. I feel like everybody has it in them to be able to do that. It's just to find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but you have to search for it, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Like I said, it ebbs and flows. There's ups, there's downs, there's all arounds. And it's a journey, and that's what makes this life interesting. If we were always high, we would find that high would still have lows.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's heights to heights.
Yeah. Right. So if you're always low, there's highs within the lows. Like, so it's like to go up and down is what keeps life interesting, what gives us purpose. Right? Because without purpose, human beings without purpose do not survive. Right? So when you find your purpose of what drives you, what makes you happy in this world. Me, I found that helping people really, really is what drives me. Right? So I found a career in which so that I can do so. And helping people looks different for other people, right? Like different things. So finding what your thing is probably like the biggest motivator to give you enough purpose and believe that you are worthy and you deserve everything great in this world.
Yeah. Wow. It's a lot to take in. To go back, I kind of resonated to what you said about losing control, because I have a story. Because a lot of people who know me know I don't drink, and I tell them why. Because I don't want to be in a spot where I have no control of myself to when I need to be in control. So I've said that for years and years and years, and I stand by it. But after listening,
like you've never drank ever, like you never
drink to get drunk. I'm saying.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, so you've never been tipsy in life. Okay.
I'm not condoning. I am not condoning drinking.
Yeah. Me neither.
I've only been drunk once, only because I didn't know the end
You were
result of
roofied?
what I was drinking. No, but I was drinking. I'm not sure if you guys know what the drink called. I guess the paralyzer. That was called.
You're drinking first of all, you're drinking a drink called the paralyzer, expecting not to get drunk.
No. But again, they what they told me is what was in it. I'm like, oh, okay, and it didn't taste like an alcoholic drink, right?
That's the problem.
And I also don't know how to drink. So instead of sipping whatever, I was getting glasses of this drink, not realizing what I was drinking. Now, again, I was in a safe spot. This was about, I don't know, we'll say 10 years ago, Christmas Eve. So I was in the same spot. I was hanging out with my then best friend there, just enjoying a Christmas type of atmosphere. And they said, "Yeah, you should try." I said, "Well, what? Why not?" So I did, and I was just chugging these drinks, and I think I had 6 of those things, and I was like, "Oh, I feel weird right now." So right away, when I felt that way, I said, I'm cutting myself off. I'm going to go up," and I fell asleep. Didn't have a hangover or anything. It wasn't something.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
oh my gosh! But I'm like, I sat down. I was like, yeah, I don't like that feeling of not having control, because who knows if someone calls or someone says, "Hey, we need you," and I need to go, I can't go. Right? And again, that's the whole protective
That's very
me.
interesting. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's me being, hey, I need to be on my game all the time, because you never know. Again, I have people who are out of province. I have people out of country. I have people that are in the city, right? I'm always trying to be that guy to help when there's to be helped. So, but then again, that's 10 some odd years ago. Now I'm thinking, again, part of my language is, what the fuck? Why not? I mean, I've done pretty much anything and everything anybody has ever asked me to do, right? I'm for years, I kind of called myself a puppet, because all I was doing was going by what was asked in my family or my friends or the employer. When I was always a yes man to do whatever needs to be done. And I'm like, sure, no problem. You'll get ahead by doing this and doing this, and you fall in this path. And when you realize that's not the case, you're like, why do I follow these people? Why am I answering to these people? Why am I keep on going this path? Why not I just shape my own path? So when I was asked recently about, do you do anything fun, in your downtime? I say, well, I do my podcast. And I mean, no, no. Do you do like things, do you drink? I'm like, no, I don't drink. Have you done any edibles? I'm like, no, I've never done edibles for pleasure. I took an edible um, for pain once, and I
Mm,
think, again, because I didn't know the dosage, I took too much, and I was not myself again. So those are things
awesome.
that scare me. So I'm like, I don't want the external to mash up my internal. That I can't make a logical, reasonable judgment call, right? And I need to. I don't know if it's a control thing for me. I just know I need to be in sound mind all the time, because again, there's responsibilities that I've had forever and a day. But again, hearing you thinking, why not go out and drink, or why not, have someone explain how to do edibles to relax yourself and so forth. What is there to lose? Because when you said, hey, you did it, and you turn around and you wake up and like, yo, I didn't die. Like, I'm like, no, you laugh. I'm like, yeah, shit. The drinking doesn't really kill people. I mean,
It can. It
it
can.
can. Now, what I'm
Well, if
saying,
you
if
Yeah,
overdo it,
you're yeah, exactly.
exactly.
What I'm saying, if you overdo it, yeah. But I'm saying, if
Yeah.
you're
yeah,
with people that you trust, that you say, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna let loose. They're not gonna, again, if they're true friends, they're not gonna let you go to a point where you are gonna make yourself sick or make yourself in a dangerous situation. Again, you need to trust the person you're going to be going out with. You went out with Slang. He knows your limits. You know your limits. If you pass that limit, he will know when to say, "Hey, let's head on." Right? I don't really have that much type of friendship like that, because I don't know. I don't drink with people to know, hey, you know what? Is this person going to let me drink myself to whatever? Or I don't know. I have to build that relationship, because I thought alcohol bad, weed bad, anything bad. So I don't really associate with people who do that. So, but I'm at a point where I'm like, shit, I just turned 47. I mean, why not? Why not try something? I don't know. I don't know what to try. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it, but I'm open to doing it. Maybe it will take away from the stresses that I have that are continuously there all the time. I don't know. But I am at my mindset stating it doesn't hurt to try,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then
because
there's different
That's
things.
the
Like I said,
ultimately thing.
Yeah,
That's the
like
ultimate thing. It doesn't hurt to
it
try.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be drugs.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, and my friend just did a vision quest, which was 4 days of no water, no food, out in the elements, and with nothing on you, just the clothes you're wearing on your body. 4 days in the elements, and just so you can just sit with yourself. That's not for me.
I was gonna say
Me
they
neither.
did, they did it by
That's not for
themselves.
me. That's not for no. It was I think it was a group thing.
Oh, I was gonna say,
And this
like,
is in like
sometimes that could be dangerous.
yeah
But
no
there was
no no.
nothing else.
It's like a
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Sometimes
it's a safety thing. But then she also stopped. She doesn't drink. The only thing that she does sometimes is like psychedelic. So she'll do mushrooms in a set in like
Controlled.
controlled environment, right?
Mhm.
So everybody
also
like yeah
a good thing to try. But
yeah. So they're saying
Someone told
I
me
would try
about that
that.
too.
I would
Someone,
definitely try that in a controlled environment and do like one of those things where you're just kind of like it's a spirit for me that's very spiritual and allowing your brain to let go of all the foolishness that we fill it with on a daily basis so that you could just kind of be, you know?
adding to that point, 2 points is one. I think the main idea here is it doesn't hurt to try things in moderation.
Mhm.
You also don't have to, as because Tokes, you're saying that you don't have the people to trust to do these things with.
well, I probably do have
Some
the people. I just don't know them
or
to,
even that.
yeah.
But I'll say this:
Yes.
some of
Yes.
my favorite times. It's again, it's personal and relative. Some of my favorite times of drinking or smoking is by myself because it
Mm.
provides introspection. Shrooms by myself. In fact, I don't actually, if I'm not at like a party per se, I don't like smoking and drinking around people, especially smoking,
Okay.
especially weed, because it makes me and a
Paranoid?
lot of people make. I don't call it paranoid because I
Anxious.
don't think I'm paranoid, but I don't like. I definitely don't feel comfortable. Like I don't like because I don't
Uneasy.
much to your what you're saying. I don't like feeling that out of control around other people. But when I'm
Right.
by myself, who cares?
Yeah.
And I know I'm in my own house. For example, if I drink to the point where I stumble and fall on the floor, which doesn't happen, but if that was to happen, I'm on my own floor. I'm comfortable with that. I don't have no problems there. But again, let me very much so state none of those things are necessary to let go. Letting go, as Devin was giving that retreat idea, like I said, going to the gym is letting go for me.
Mhm.
Mm.
I talk to myself in the gym.
You talk to
I
yourself
tell
everywhere.
all the time, all the time. But it's right, like that's what I'm saying. I don't even like. I shouldn't say I don't like, but I
You're
prefer to
not
work
talking
out
to us right now.
alone because I get that time to myself. That's a moment of myself. Don't get me wrong. Working out with other people is a good change of pace because it also pushes me more when I'm with others. But by myself, that's my cathartic. That's my therapy. It's like physical and mental therapy in the same moments. So there's so many things to do in this world. It's
Okay.
again, we have to try them though, to
This is true.
know if it's for us. Because you might, even me, you might drink and not like it. Okay, that's not your thing.
Hmm.
Smoking or having weed is my thing, but lately it's not my thing. I haven't done it in months because when the last couple times I've tried, I shouldn't say months because I did it a little bit with my cousin the other day. But even that night, after that night, I was like, I don't like this, so I haven't done it since. So there, it's time and place and moderation. You're not bound to anything. That's the other part. We're not bound
Mm.
to anything in our lives, and I think that's the shackles of life that we have to realize. We have the key to unlock ourselves from whatever we think we're tethered to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
totally agree with that. And you're right. It doesn't have to be a bad thing Well, I think like a substance to put in your body to be
Uh,
free. You can maybe it's going for a walk every day, or a gym at certain times or whatever. I don't know. It just seems like I've always made myself I've made fun of myself calling myself a square because I'm like, well, I got no stories about drunken escapades or when I did this or whatever. Like I try to keep in the box so uh I can I can go to people and say, yeah, I'm a good guy. I mean, I'm a good dad. I'm a good son. I'm not perfect. I've made tons of mistakes, but I haven't done that to say, you know what? Oh, well, you have some type of problem because you let it go too far. I'm like, don't want to be labeled, I guess. I guess it's the fear.
Mhm.
Again, this goes to the whole fear of what people think about me. And I've
yeah.
known and understood about that about me forever and a day. Like I'm
Mhm.
always concerned of what people are going to think about me.
Mhm.
And I'm now realizing after doing this podcast, I don't really shouldn't really care what people say or think about me. It's me that
Oh
has
yeah.
the ultimate decision. Now, respectful, of course.
We
I
all
don't want to.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
Yes.
we all have
Yeah. We all
elements
do.
of care.
Yes, yes, but I'm saying like, I mean, say for instance, I mean, for the longest time, fashion was a big deal back in the '90s, and I'm like, how you dress, people would judge you, and I didn't really have the outfit, so again, I was judged. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Then I was trying to now fit in, so now I'm at a point where I have all this, not all this, but I have the option to buy certain clothes, and I still don't because that doesn't phase me anymore. How I look or what I wear, sorry, doesn't phase me. But how you think of me in terms of what I've done, that kind of is trickling in the back of my mind. I mean, I have a daughter, right? And they're like, "Oh, do you have your daughter? What do you do with her?" Like, and I try to tell people this is what I do, so they know that I'm doing the right things with her, right? But I'm like, shouldn't matter what I do with my daughter as long as she's happy and healthy, good. But
Yeah.
again, it's just something that's in the head
Yeah.
always. It just won't leave. That's just me. I don't know. I'm trying to fix it, but it's hard to fix. I don't think fix is the right word.
No,
There's
embrace,
nothing.
kind of embrace it.
Embrace. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trying to embrace something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again,
My friend Naomi, she always says, I say she always says, she said it to me once and I never forgot it. she
Well,
said, she said, I'll try anything once. If I don't like it, I don't have to do it again.
that's I
Like,
love that.
that is, yeah.
honestly, it
I
it
love that.
never left me, and I was like, I should tell her that. I don't know if I've ever told her that, but I was like, you said that to me when we were like in our early 20s, and it never left me. I'm always like, I quote her on that all the time. So my segue to the next aspect of this, it actually changed from what it was originally. Is uh, what okay? So either what has self love done for you, or what do you think it can do for you in your future?
That's a good question.
I'll let you marinate. I'm going to answer. so for
That's a deep one,
me,
actually.
so for me, what it has done for me currently is that one, I feel like my self-love helped me find love with my boo.
Oh,
This is what
how
Tokes is like,
comes
oh God.
I'm on here with these two losers?
Jeez. Let me just have a conversation with myself now. All right, guys.
Solo cam time. No, hey, I'm actually that's very true for me too, to a degree.
Yeah,
Not even to a degree. That's one of the truths I should say. That is true.
yeah.
I
And
I,
it,
I think accept, but also to be to full transparency, it's also finding someone that accepts who I am as I've accepted who I am,
yeah.
which helped me also accept love.
And that's exactly what it was. Like, because we talked about before, I did the dating apps and whatever, and it helped me be very intentional and very like, yeah, yes, no, right? Like I was very open in terms of like, okay, I've never been a height person. I don't really care how tall you are. I was like, for the
She
most
told
part,
me last night I can't be it's tall or it'd be too tall for me. So I don't know what you're
I
talking
actually
about.
think
Go
there
ahead.
is such thing as there's too tall for me.
There's not
There's
too
too
short.
tall.
There's too tall. It's too tall. He was standing on a step and I was standing beside him and I was looking up and I was like, yeah, this is too tall. It's
It made me
weird.
like 6'7" or something
Yeah.
like that.
Like
Ah,
it was such a weird dynamic to be like a whole foot taller than me. I was like, oh, this is weird. But anyways, I digress. So see, now you made me forget my point.
Sorry.
Okay, so the height thing. So there was like it wasn't about height. I did realize that in terms of race, I needed someone like it because like for a while I was just like, I'm just gonna be open and I'm dating everybody. But I was like, yeah, I say that, but not really, because you gotta at least have some kind of culture, right? Like that is a high priority for me. So you have to a certain extent, like for the most part, if I'd search by race, I'd be like, okay, Black, African descent, Asian, um, uh, Latino would be like my top three, right? Those were the
okay.
main things to come. And then my age range opened up. Like I put like 3 years below and then like almost 10 years older would be the max. I don't even think I put 10 years. I put 10 years, but I was picky about
10
that.
years.
I know. And don't worry. Like most of them would
Women
be
can
in
get away
that.
with that though. So
Even when 10 years when I'm like 40, that's not
I mean,
crazy.
it's not
Yeah.
crazy,
not
but
When I'm
crazy, but
it's
40,
crazy.
when I'm
It's not crazy.
40 though, when I'm
It's not
20,
crazy. It's not
yes.
crazy.
It's different
It's
when
not
I was
crazy.
20, but when I'm 40, no, it's not a big
I guess
difference.
so. Yeah. Once
I
you
don't
once
find
you
it.
hit after 35, everything age is just
Yeah.
bundled
It's
up together.
pretty,
So I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
yeah, it's pretty open. So then within that also, I would have conversation. So like I had a system, right? Control freak having a system, surprising. So I had a system, like I do my swipes or whatever. And then with those people, I had, okay, so we're gonna message for a bit on the in the app. Then you graduate to a call within the app, and then finally you can graduate to meeting if that all goes well. So anybody who messaged me and was like, oh, let's just exchange numbers, and I'm like, no, we can talk in here. And if they had a problem with talking in here, done.
Mm.
That's it. Like there was no negotiation. I was just like, no, we can talk in here. We don't need to exchange numbers. I'm like,
That's logical. That
it
seems
literally, I
logical.
was like, it literally works in here. Like, I don't want to like have be going the back and forth. And I was like, if that doesn't seem logical to you, then you're good.
No,
Right? I'm good.
that's true.
Then the next level, if they don't want to do the video call. The funniest thing is we didn't actually end up doing a video call because you were at work or something. But our first phone call we did within the app, and we talked for 9 hours on our first
Something like
conversation.
that.
Our
Something like
first
that.
conversation, we talked for
9 hour
hours.
conversation.
Yeah, I know.
And
Just
I'm
one buck of
all
sleep.
this she's talking about, I'm the opposite. I didn't do dating apps. That was the first. She's probably the first connection I ever had on an app because I just signed it up. I sign up and I leave it, and it was Facebook,
Just
so it was
because.
easy. Just
Mm,
because people kept saying, "Why don't you try it? Why don't you try it?" So I just signed up and I leave it. That's the first one connection I really ever had. I don't technically. I know what I would like and dislike. I don't like as she's speaking. I realize, okay, I kind of do have a system, but it was never in my mind mapped out type thing.
right.
My system is basically text, and if you don't like texting, then that's your problem. Then we don't have to talk no more. But
True.
that didn't happen here. So it kind of broke all my quote unquote rules that I kind of had. But again, I digress. Your question was what do I think self love will do or has done? And I
Mhm.
answer that has done. I also think it helps with confidence. Um, and I keep repeating this. It helps you accept your yourself not only the good parts, but also the bad parts. And I say those with big quotations, good and bad, because even as Tokes was talking and using those words, and I know you were just using them because those are words we understand, but nothing is good and nothing is bad. We
Right.
just label them as such. And it is, again, how you feel about that thing within you. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be a millionaire. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a millionaire. The next man might think there is, and the next woman might think there is on either side of the end of that spectrum. But if you want to be a millionaire, go ahead and do it because it's going to make you happy. And speaking to that trying thing, you might become a millionaire and hate it, but at least you tried. And you can always give that money away if you want. You'd be stupid, or better yet, give it to me. But I'm just saying, it's you get the point. It's again acceptance of self, good and bad, the things you want to change, and if there are things. I had this conversation I was telling her about with Latanya the other
Mhm.
day about people around you that show jealousy or envy of the things that you have or that you've accomplished. And my thing is that I've never felt that. Well, I can't say never. I have felt envy. Jealousy is not something that I allow myself to label as a feeling. I'm not jealous of you. Unless it's like I might be jealous in a relationship of, like, my girl's talking to a guy that I think she shouldn't be talking to. That's jealousy. I
Andre?
might have that. Yeah,
Andre?
this Andre guy that she keeps talking to.
The funniest
Mind
thing
yourself,
is,
Andre. Mind
yeah.
yourself,
Yeah,
Andre.
mind herself.
Okay, can we please clarify that Andre is made up?
No, we can't clarify. No, you've been talking to
Andre,
Andre, and I'm upset about it.
Andre is made up. Whenever he like comes over and I'm like, did you leave the series? Like, maybe it was Andre.
I'm on to you, Andre.
Yeah, I'm on to you. I know what's going on, but well, yeah, I don't really feel jealousy of friends and family and stuff like that. I might be envious. There's a key distinction there. If you don't know, look it up. But and if I feel the sense of envy of something, my response usually is, well, figure out how to get it for yourself.
Mm,
The jealousy is thinking that that person doesn't deserve it. The envy is thinking I deserve it as well.
mm,
Mm,
that's big.
That's my difference.
Okay.
that's
So that's what I think. If there's something I don't like within myself, I try to change it. Again, I'm not always great at doing this, and nor do I think everybody is. But I actively try. I may not complete the mission every time, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, jeez, man, he plays the guitar. Why can't I play the guitar? Why does he know how to play the guitar? I go pick up a guitar. And then I try to play the guitar. I may not like playing the guitar and put it back down. And then the envy's even gone because that's why I can't play the guitar. I don't like it. He does. Simple as that. So I think that's one of the things that I think self love helps you do. Accept yourself.
Interesting.
oh
Yeah,
man.
I would agree. I agree with that. In the self love helps you accept yourself because once you accept yourself, how you show up comes differently, right? It's like
Facts.
it's that same thing that people say, like once you're in a relationship, especially as men, all of a sudden you get all sorts of women trying to talk to you because you have a contentment or you don't have the desperation, right?
So that so
And
that so that energy
The
is
energy
that,
is
that
different.
comes
yes,
off is totally different. That is actually attractive,
yes,
or not.
100%.
What I say? Well, I don't want to say attractive, but more appealing. Appealing, not
Appealing.
attractive, but more appealing.
Attractive too. Attractive
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I like
Attractive
both
too.
those words. I like both of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
both of
if
them.
you become more appealing and people and like I said, since I made that decision to be more positive and be which in that positivity was for me more positive towards myself, love myself more. And so I had to learn to love myself, because in choosing, being able to choose all the things that I showed up as, that also helped me love myself, right? Because I chose it. I wasn't trying to live up to anybody's standard but my own, right? And so that was freeing to be like, I set the standard, so that standard could be whatever the hell I want it to be. And so all I wanted to find is someone who accepted me for me, right? So when I went out into the dating world, coming back to that, it was, I'm going to show up on my first date, I'm going to be wearing high top sneakers because that's what I feel comfortable in. I'm not doing the heels no more. I'm not trying to straighten my hair for nobody no more. This is the most amount of makeup that I ever wear, unless I'm going to some gala. I might throw some eyelashes on. But for the most part, I'm very simple in terms of like, yeah, I like color or whatever, but I like comfortable. So I needed someone who accepted comfortable Devin, right? And so the things that I was looking for is someone who loved me for me. That was the most important thing. It wasn't about what they look like. I just happened to find the handsomest man on the planet to love me, but you know.
Anyways,
But at the end of the day, you know why? Because I deserved it.
okay. To break down what you were saying,
Yes, sir.
as we said, that when you're in that relationship, and that, again, that aura, that vibe is on both ends, both male and the female, shows that you're a different type of person, and again, that attraction is out there. Are you safe to know that, hey, my person is my person? You know what I'm saying? Because again, that vibe is dangerous sometimes, because you don't mean to put it off there, but when you're in a comfort zone, when you're in a place of understanding, and you're with someone who understands you, like I said, that vibe will be going off crazy, and then people start noticing you a bit more. And that's what I think got me in trouble a lot, because when I was in a relationship, people out of the woodwork started talking to me. Now, again, I wouldn't give them any time of the day on a relationship. I'm like, hey, yeah, thank you. How you doing? Blah, blah. You on your way? But I'm in a relationship. I don't know if that's something that you have an issue with people just out of a woodwork coming and talking to you, both you and Slang.
I think, but the energy, there's different energies. There's different energies. If you have, there's good and bad. There's good and bad energy, right? Like you're going to attract what you put out there. So if you're attracting, and I feel like in general, I attract I do attract energy in, but it's always like respectful. Like it's like I don't feel like Slang will say, where we walked into some shop the other day, and he's like, yeah, that guy looked at you like ooh. And I didn't even, to me, I didn't even notice it. He told me about it. I didn't even notice it. And part of that was because that I was just kind of like, I'm in my relationship zone, right? But it also isn't just about romantic relationships. It's about all your relationships. It's in the people that you start meeting, and the person that you attract in. It shouldn't. I'm a big believer in those energies, right? So if you have someone that is put off by you attracting an energy, that person's not for you, right?
That's where I was going.
That person's not for you.
Goodness.
Because the thing is, the people that you are bringing in are going to reflect your energy. So if you're getting a lot of negativity, stop and be like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like when things start falling apart in my world, like if something starts happening, like the other day, everything just kept falling. Like literally, like my barbell, who's leaned up against the wall, and just fell. and I like narrowly just missed me. And then one of the weights, like a couple minutes later, it fell and it almost missed me too. And I was like, stop moving. The energy will tell you. I literally stopped and I was just like, I stood still because I was like, something is telling me to slow the hell down. But it's telling me to slow down and it's telling me to take notice. Like it had to happen twice for me. And then the third time someone else fell, it was a lot lighter, thankfully. But at the same time, it just missed me. And I was like, Devin, you're not listening. You know what I mean? So there's things in this world that will attract in with your energy. And the more you are in tune with it, the more it will come. And that will become in friendships. It will become in work relationships. It will turn into the kind of like, if you're like me, a contractor, and the kind of contracts that come in, or like I left one contract because I was starting to get some bad energy. And the day I decided to leave it, a new contract came in that was better energy. There'll always be all of it.
Now, again, just to kind of dive deeper in this, what if you don't know the energy that you're putting off? What if you've just been the same person, and because you're in a mindset or situation that you're very comfortable with, you're satisfied with, you're content with, and you're not really trying to do anything else. But that vibe, that vibe will still continue to go, and all of a sudden, the people, like I said, good people and bad people will be showing up.
If you need help, you can ask me. I'll tell you when right now, today, your energy has shifted significantly from the last time I saw you. Like your energy right now today is the most open it's ever been, actually, since I've met you today.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. And this is, and I told Slang, this is the reason why I do the show, right? I guess this is my self-love.
This is your therapy.
Really, both.
We've said this. I said this is one of the reasons why I don't like missing, because I'm always learning something, whether it's Slang, yourself, Latanya, whoever. Like I'm learning more because I was a closed book. I had chapters there and I was predetermined. I'm like, okay, I have to be this way. I got to do this. I'm like, nah, man, I don't have to be this way. I got to be me. But the only way I can learn to be me is to find out how other people were themselves. Because I just thought it was, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this job, you have to have this woman, you have to have this type of whatever. Like, nah, man, because I'm looking at people, and again, I'm never jealous for anybody, right? Just like what Slang said. But I will be envious for some things. And a perfect example, you guys have gone out different places in Canada. I mean, the furthest I've gone is Toronto, really. But I'm like, yo, what's wrong with me not going to freaking Montreal? Like Slang was telling me. It's like, yo, I should go to Montreal. What's holding me back? Maybe finances, but I'm like, yo, if I can plan it right, why not go? Even if it's for a weekend, right? I was always thinking of, there has to be a reason for me to be somewhere. And I'm like, no, there isn't. What if you just wanted to go?
And like, I was going to say, or even the mindset change, that is the reason.
Exactly. Sometimes the reason is just because you want to go. You can go there with a toothbrush, a couple $100, and you'll be satisfied. You're there. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, you know what? I just want to go there because I want to be there. People have said so much, even if it's just walking around for a day and then jumping on a plane and coming back. Yes, I know it might not be ideal, but I'm like, yo, why not? Right? Yeah. Why not? And I'm learning that because I'm just, like you said, I'm being a bit more open. I'm being more honest with myself. And I realize I'm handcuffing myself to my true self, if that makes sense. Like I'm handcuffing how I should be.
To the idea of yourself.
Yes, the idea. So I appreciate everything, because I'm thinking the whole show, I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, yeah.
But
in the beginning, I'm like, I don't know if I can really contribute to this topic, because I haven't. But then the more I speak on it, the more I understand how important it is
Mm-hmm.
to do it. So then I'm like, yeah, let me switch it. Let me just have some fun. Let me go do things that I'm not usually doing, right? But in terms of the whole health thing, let me go and take care of myself because you're right. There's going to be a time where the ailment may take me under,
Mm.
and then who's going to take care of her, right? Who's going to take care of her? Like just like the guy in prison. Like, okay, you did your best, and then all of a sudden she's out there by herself.
Mm.
Think about it. So
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
No,
these are
the,
I
all.
wanted to add something to the energy discussion as part two as
Mhm,
well.
mhm,
So, because your question was, how do you know if you're just being yourself, but there's still things
mhm, mhm,
going wrong, quote unquote, around you?
mhm,
Sometimes it's not only your energy; it is the people around you's energy, and those things going wrong when you're staying steadfast is
mhm,
telling you to get from around those people.
mhm.
Again, speaking
mhm,
to the idea of maybe that person is not for you in a romantic setting, maybe that person really isn't your friend, maybe that family member isn't supposed to really be family, because
mhm,
whenever they're in your presence, or not even in your presence, when they're in your life,
mhm,
it's chaos, or it's not a good place to be. You don't feel right, and that extends to everything. Like I said before, it's more, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be a provider, for example, or you wanting to protect people, but do you
right.
like it? Do you enjoy it, or are you doing it because of duty? That's
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
Well, if
It's
I can answer
okay to
that, then if I
Mhm.
can answer that,
Yeah,
I was
good.
taught to be that protector, provider, right? And with that teaching, with that upbringing, I learned to love it, right? So it's not a bad thing for me to do what I do because again, I'm now in a role where I am protecting and providing in my place of work. Now again, I enjoy the job, but now I realize I'm doing the job 24/7
Mhm.
at home, outside with peoples, at work. It's always doing it. So I'm like, there needs to be a stop, a clock out.
Break.
I
Yeah.
can't clock out because I'm always doing it. So I've kind of did it to myself,
Mhm.
right? Because as much as like I said, I was taught to be this person, I never I never I never ventured out to be what's it like to be the on the other side of things. And now
Mhm.
now I'm over 40. I'm like now I'm thinking, what's it like to be on the other side? And no, but I'm like, what's going to happen if I do be on the other side? That's the fear of it, and that's what I was trying to answer the question because I haven't never given myself self love, and you're saying, or you're asking the question about what do you think, or what is it doing for you, or what do you think it's going to do for you? I don't know.
Hmm.
I can honestly say
Mm.
I don't know what it's going to do to me if I go and venture out and do things that I'm not used to doing.
Is that
That's
scary
just
or
the
is it
fear.
exciting? Is there a
It's
little bit of excitement?
again, it's a bit of both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're saying again, when you wanted to indulge in certain things, like I say, hey, you meet some people and you would say, hey, you guys, you want to have a few drinks, and like I can say, yeah, that might be cool, but then there's other stuff where you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen if I'm with these people and take a road trip out to wherever. I'm like,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
That's the fear that I have. So
that
that's why I'm so conflicted on opening that door or unlatching the gate and running out and doing something that is not me.
Hmm.
that thing that they say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's a real thing, but I also like to add, what almost kills you gives you great memories. and
100%
Wow.
it's
agree.
so
100%
like,
agree.
because even what everything you're speaking, like while you're speaking, I'm just thinking of very specifically, for years Roma's tried to get us to go on trips for years as we were growing up, because he would be the guy to go out there and travel, and for
Yeah.
years we'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna come, but it wasn't valuable to us because we didn't have
Right.
the experience. So
Right.
we, not that we didn't want to go, but it's just like, I can spend my money doing this because I know I
Right.
enjoy this,
Right.
right? Finally do it, And the very first trip, we may have almost died, but it's one of my greatest memories ever. Like with friends, friendship group, that's one of the best memories I've ever had surviving that moment.
Hilarious.
so,
It's true.
so huh?
It said it's true.
It's freeing, and it added to the confidence, the brain. Like after that, I could go travel by myself. Because if I could survive that, I can survive damn near anything. I'm good everywhere I go. And the Devin will tell you. I tell people all the time, and I tell her all the time. I'm not scared anywhere. Like I don't get scared anywhere. Yes, am I cautious? Sure. Am I always? And maybe this is a somewhat of a gender thing where I want to protect the people around me but I'm more scared for people around me than I'm scared for myself. If anything, or I'm more cautious for people around me than for myself. I go into situations if there's a danger or I feel danger. It's more of me just thinking about how do I get these guys out. But for myself, I'll be fine.
I do. I feel like the exact same thing. But when we went to Detroit, as we were driving around Detroit, I'm like, okay, I almost died there when we did this. And then I almost, like literally everywhere we went, I was like, oh yeah, I remember when we got in these random strangers' cars and went to this barbecue. And the whole time we were driving in the back of the car, me and my friend were literally like, so like I was memorizing. We didn't communicate before, but I was memorizing the direct how we got to where we were going. So I was like, okay, we just turned right on 8th and then 8th Ave, and then we did this and then this, and then all of a sudden I hear her lead. All of a sudden she's like, "Wait, what street was that?" And I was like, "Greenfield," because I didn't realize she's doing the exact same thing. But honestly, that night was so fun. I was like, and it was like, no judgment, but like, I went there to go like because we had met them before. We just had never like actually hung out with them. But like, I went there to go hang out with this one guy, and I ended up leaving with another guy. It's great.
And the thing is,
what almost kills you gives you great memories.
You're alive to tell that story.
That's what I'm saying.
And you can actually be proud of it because again, it's an experience. It's not like you live that life now.
Yeah.
It's done. You move on, right?
Let me put this into some context because I don't want to give the viewers the idea that you should try to damn near kill yourself or damn near die to have a good life. It's like jumping off a cliff with a parachute.
I was just about to say the same thing.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's with a parachute. Very important, with a parachute. But also, as I can't even put my normal element of great prophet because I don't really like the dude. But as Steve Harvey once said, if you don't jump off, to know if your parachute works, you have to jump off the cliff. Or paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But the parachute doesn't work while you're standing on ground, for solid ground. You got to go try a thing. And then pull the cord, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to open. 9.5 times out of 10, it's going to open. So it doesn't mean going to something totally blind and stupid. Yeah, growing up, I did a lot of that. We did a lot of that. I've been to basement parties where I walked down that basement and I could instantly feel the guns being cocked. I've done that, right? But those things again, there is also a benefit to them. They build awareness. They build a certain level of knowing how to move in this world, in any situation, so to speak. But I'm not advocating for anybody to do those things today. Walk into a situation with an exit plan is what I'm really saying. But try it.
We did have an exit plan. Like I said, I knew how to get out of there. If I got
your
out of
thing
the
was
house
different.
and I had to run.
Your thing was a more mature thing. I've done things where there's only one way in and one way out. And if you make it out, I've been to things where the next morning you read in the paper, such and such and got killed.
Yeah.
And I was just there. So you know what I'm saying? I've gone through those things, but I'm not. That's not what I'm advocating. More, what's the important
More
message
like
here is try
do
things,
stuff.
but be smart.
Yeah,
See,
like we
Do
went
things.
cave tubing in Belize. Like who does that? How much black people doing that?
I gotta try things.
now
Even-
I think that we're better. I think black people as a whole we are getting better at being
Yes.
like
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Open to
just 'cause you're
trying
black doesn't
different
mean you-
things.
Exactly.
Right.
We are expanding our
That is
horizon.
true.
But at that time, it was just kind of like me and my girlfriend. We went cave tubing, so you're literally like, because there's like a river that runs through. It's a pretty shallow river most of the time that runs through. So
Mhm.
instead of you hiking the whole time, you're in your bathing suits. You have like headgear and
Mhm.
whatever.
The lights
Like,
and whatnot.
because as soon as you get into that cave, pitch black. If that light's not on, if that light goes out, good luck. I saw a spider. Her body was the size of my face with legs coming out of it, and we had to
That's
pass
crazy.
by with like this
No.
much space. Like I
Yeah,
remember coming out of there and being like, my God, what the hell did I just do? But in the moment,
Yeah.
you just stay in the moment. Just
But
stay
the thing
in the
is,
moment.
you're already out. Once you're out, you're like, what did I do? Like,
I
this is
know.
what I did. He's like,
I did it.
I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
No.
like,
And
I
that-
did it.
now would I do it again?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But
Or
you,
just
you
like-
but you
Because
would
now
never
I
know.
know.
You would
might
never
not
know.
like it, but
Yeah.
you did it, right?
You did
Now
it.
I know.
And again, to speak into the topic, that stuff also builds your self-love because it builds your confidence.
Yeah.
It builds the like you just said. You come outside of it and you're like, what did I just do? Damn, I did it, bro.
Yeah.
I did it though.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
And I can do something else after this.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
do something else.
I'm
Nearly getting
getting
killed by gangsters in Dominican Republic. I did it.
Exactly. Hilarious. Well, Slang did he did zip lining for the first
I was gonna
time
say
when
that
we were
too.
in Jamaica.
Zip line
Yeah.
too.
He
Yeah.
did zip
And
lining.
again, I put that off for years. Again, because again, Rome is like the adventure of my friend group. He used to bug me when we used to go on cruises. No, try that, guy. Try it. And I wouldn't do it. This time I finally did it, and I was like, oh, okay. I may never do it again.
I didn't have
I
to
may
talk him
never do
into
it again.
it. He
Wow.
literally was, because we had a list of options because we knew we were going to do 2 excursions.
excursion.
And
Yeah.
he was like, and he chose zip lining, and I was like, oh, because he said I knew he didn't like he had never done it, and he said
Heights is not my thing.
Heights is not his thing, so I'm not going to push you into anything. I'm just going to be like, and I've done zip lining many times, so I was just like, okay. But he's like, let's do zip lining, and I was like, okay, let me write this down before you change your mind.
Get to a point where you have to, because it's just like, yeah. And there's a comfort level, like you were saying, Tokes, earlier. It's the people around you sometimes help
Right.
you.
Right.
Help you feel comfortable doing these things.
Right. Right.
And that's part of it. There's no judgment there. I know if I chickened out last minute, she's not gonna be like, oh, you coward piece of
You
shit.
punk.
Like,
True,
yeah. So I know that's not gonna happen.
No.
So there's and to be quite honest, there is also the I can't fail in front of my woman thing.
I was gonna say it's twofold, because yes, you have the protection of people that won't really know or won't really let you per se hurt yourself or fail or feel bad about it. But at the same time, if you're in front of strangers, who cares?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who cares if
Yeah.
you fall on your face doing it? Who cares if you piss yourself while doing it? You did it. It's done.
You never see these people again.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just
And when we went up,
everything's in my head just going, you know what? There's things. And then I realized when you were talking about certain things that you've done in the past, you were probably the person that went to the club and stayed until the end. And then in the morning, you found out some person got whatever. I'd
Mhm.
probably go to the same club, see the same people, leave 3 hours before anything happens, and then find out about that later. So I was always playing it safe. I'd do enough and then get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will now, again, I'm not, like I said, after listening to all this, I'm like, now I'm want to be at the end of the night and seeing what's going on, and then find out someone was there that got, I mean, I don't wish that on anybody, but find out what happened after the fact, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I was there. I was there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, it
How
could
many-
have been me, but
Bro, how many stories have we had where you were in a place where someone got shot up or whatever, and you're like, I was there, and then this happened, and then this happened. Like,
I've been there while I was getting shot up.
that's what I said.
Never mind.
That's what I said.
I've been there as well.
Yeah. Where you're on the ground, crawling on the
again,
ground, crawling out the door.
yeah. And see, this not that I'm Superman or nothing, but this is me too. What it's happened, and I've been there, and I'm not the on the ground guy. I'm the guy. Okay, how do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? Who's shooting where? That's my thing. But I also wanted to say it's also relative, because to your point, you leave the 3 hours early, and that's your safety limit. For me, my safety limit is the. I'll give you a story. I'll give you a quick story of safety limit, and when I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I used to ride around with a group of guys. They were all in the life, if you know the life, quote unquote. Bunch of Crips type men doing their thing. Now I grew up with these guys, so it's not like I looked at them as those people. We just happened to be in music together, or we're working together on music. We go somewhere, we see a guy. These guys are like, "Hey, isn't that Stanley?" I don't know where that name came from. Stanley over there? Isn't our boy looking for Stanley? Yeah, that's Stanley. Okay, let's go tell our boy. We go to our boy's house. Say, yo, we saw Stanley over here. Our boy comes out with a sawed-off shotgun and says, oh yeah, do we need this? At that moment, I said, I'm never hanging out with these guys ever again.
That was it, bro.
That was my limit. But I know what these guys are into. I knew what they were into. But that, when we get to that point, worse, I was the one driving the car that we were driving around in. So I was that point. It was like, and that's where there's something I also wanted to say earlier, where there are elements of going against what we've been taught, but there's also elements of accepting and living with what we were taught because it helped us along the way.
True.
In that exact example, I hear my parents in my ear, in my mind. I hear my parents being disappointed in me for ever being involved in the situation. And that helps me walk away. I always say, if I didn't have my dad in my life, I don't know.
True.
Devin wouldn't know me because I could be on a newspaper cover for some reason. I don't know. Again, I'm a man. I came up until I was 15. I was a Jane Street kid. I had friends from Falstaff. I had friends from Chalk Farm. I had friends from Driftwood. I had friends like this is. Wow. But my household wasn't that. But these are my friends.
Right.
So you could go anywhere with that.
Yeah.
Because of my dad.
Yeah.
I was never going down that path.
Right. And it comes back to the energy thing that we were talking about and who you surround yourself with. And you have to, the thing that will tell you about your energy is, one, who you're attracting, and two, how people are interacting with you. If you feel that you constantly are like in a fight, like, or you're fighting for your voice, that's your energy. It's telling you. Like I'm like, if I last year, end of last year, I was very overwhelmed and I didn't realize what was happening. But like in the moment, I just knew that I'd wake up annoyed at the time, and everything everybody said to me annoyed me. And I had to be like, are they really being annoying or am I annoyed? Right? So, and I had to literally stop and like separate myself from everybody and like come back into myself and be like, what is going on with you? Right. Because it's not them, it's me. So I had to be like, what is going on with me? And then I was like, I'm very overwhelmed. I'm very overstimulated. So that when you're in a situation where you're overstimulated, any kind of stimulation, good, bad, bug you, anything is going to bother you. Yeah. Like to the point where I had to tell Omar one time, because like I was just overworked, working so much that the idea of just going to his house to play cards was overwhelming. Like it gave me so much anxiety and stressed me out. And I was like, it's not that I don't want to play cards, because it's one of my favorite things. Like we go and we play cards with his parents or his siblings, you know what I mean? One of my favorite things, but it was giving me anxiety. And I had to be like, I need to make some changes in my life
Mhm.
because
We're
this is
overwhelmed.
something that I enjoy that now feels like something that is overwhelming me. And so
Oh yeah,
those,
you touched on that.
yeah,
You touched
Yeah.
and
on
these
something.
Yeah.
these are the signs that are telling you like something's got to give, something's got to change, right? Like if you're feeling sick, a lot of times you're feeling sick because you're stressed out and your nervous
Mhm.
system is
Oh,
overwhelmed. So a nervous system
1000%.
reset, and it's like no drugs are gonna reset your nervous system, right?
No.
You know what's gonna
Mhm.
reset your nervous system? Rest.
Yeah,
Rest.
and I told, like I said, there was a bit of a hiatus I had with anything that I was doing. I told Slang, you know what, I've been in bed half the time, half the week. Like after work, I was in bed, just trying to just not sleep it off, but just be still.
Mm.
I wasn't
Yes.
in front of my computer. I wasn't really watching anything. Well, I was watching things because I was just, bored, but I wasn't really talking to anybody. I was just still.
Mhm.
And and that's when I realized something was wrong, right?
Mhm.
Because the body, again, will start trying to fix itself in a state of rest. So that's when I realized that something's really wrong and my body's trying to get it out, right? And I'm like, okay, let's do that. But then when I get up and I get semi-relief, I'm like, oh, I can go and do whatever now. Let's go back to work and let's go back to doing this. And then all of a sudden you get another shot. No, I said this, boom. And I'm like, oh, okay. So again, I'm saying, you know what? Let me rest again and deal with it. And then again, that limited amount of relief, I'm like, well, I can definitely do this stuff again. And I'm like, I go off and do that. And again, for the third time, I was like, boom. I'm like, man, I need to figure this out. So that's when I was convincing myself I need to go get checked out because the body's starting to shut down.
Yeah.
Again, me being stubborn and stuck in my ways, I'm like, you know what?
Power
I'll
through.
find some time. I'll find some time. I'll
Been
just go to
there.
work and whatever. I'll find some time. And
Yep.
I'm like, there is no time. But that's not true. You make the time.
You make the time.
100%.
So again,
Make time for what we
the
want.
whole realization is like I need to make the time to get where I should be, get back to my baseline, and just be. Because again, if you're not working at 100%, you're cheating yourself, right? I think right now I'm hitting a good 35, 40% right now, and that's just to maintain the whole life I live right now, right? So I need to kind of again rest, reset, and get myself back to 100%. It may even take some time, may even take weeks to get back to 100%. But knowing
Weeks.
that I put the effort
It may
to do
take
it,
longer. Allow yourself
Yeah.
yourself time and space.
yeah, that's the
Microdosing
thing.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just letting it get back. And then I'm assuming you're going to know. Well, I should know how I feel after I get back to where I am because everything should look better, feel better. And
You may not
situations
notice
will
it
be-
for a bit because
That's true.
I was saying that about even just like in terms of healing because like I had surgery in July last year and now it's April, so like just realizing somebody I went to go get an abdominal massage and I was like I've been healed, and then as soon as they put their hand on my stomach I went the protection all of a sudden kicked in and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that my body there's still that nervous system wants to protect itself, right? So you're gonna have those moments, you're gonna have that that protective and it's ongoing, right? Because whenever your nervous system itself was traumatized, right, and so it's gonna react to anything that can trigger it. So you gotta just kind of like reset yourself as many times as you need to. And the thing is, there is no limit to the amount of times that you can reset yourself. There's no limit.
The body heals before the mind does.
Yeah, because the body will definitely hold on to that trauma, like you said, until it actually knows it's gone. And then you won't know unless if you have multiple abdominal massages, then the mind says, oh, it's just like working out. Just like working out. You go to the gym.
Gonna say that.
Just like muscle memory. Your
Yeah.
body will be like, okay, yeah. And then so you add another weight, and like, oh yeah, whoa, this is not it. So we now have to train ourselves to
Yeah.
get to that level, so we can
Yeah.
get back to yeah.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
it's the
Even the
mind.
results of working out or weight loss. You all of a sudden one day somebody says, hey, you lost weight. You
You're
don't
like,
notice that.
Yeah,
You don't notice
true.
it, but it happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no. It's
Yeah.
working in the
because
background.
because your mind, which is controlling your eyes, don't see it as fast as others do, right? Because it's
And
your mind.
self-image, to bring it right back, self-image again. You know what? Sorry, I want to. I should have said this a while ago. One of the earlier questions.
Mm,
I distinctly do remember in the relationship before this, and not even the relationship. I'll actually take out. But in the relationship, in that time period, I did not look at myself the way that I do now. And as simple as I didn't think I was as good looking, I didn't think I was as attractive then as I do now. And then that played itself out in that relationship, looking back, 100%. And in this relationship, and I should again, I don't want to say relationship because I wasn't looking at myself that way before the last relationship. And then compared to before this relationship, I started to look at myself that way again. So it plays itself out. That relationship, there was a whole lot of again, also a whole lot of she'll probably cheat or she'll. What is she doing with this? What is she doing today? What is she doing now? Because
yeah,
I'm not comfortable with myself in
right.
this relationship. Quite frankly, she could cheat and I would never even know because I'd be like, she's not cheating because who's cheating on me? Who's
Because
cheating on
you're
me?
that good looking. That's
It's
right.
those vibes,
Trust.
and it's not. It may even be conceit. It might be. It might be. But I like to consider it. I like to consider it confidence more than anything. I don't think it's
Yeah,
conceit because I don't think I'm the greatest looking man in the world, and no girl can cheat on me. I don't think like that.
right.
But I think I was more to correct my own self. If she was to cheat, she'd be stupid. It wouldn't be. It's not. She can't do it. She can definitely do it, but then she'd be dumb.
Exactly. It's like
On to the next.
if they cheated, it has nothing. It actually has nothing to do with me. That was their choice.
Nothing.
That was their choice for them. And yeah, it had consequences to our relationship. But at the end of the day, they made a choice
Mhm.
for them that made the sense for them in that moment. And there was
Good
nothing I
luck.
could do about it. There was
Good
And
nothing
luck.
and
I could do about
and
it.
that's what I've learned actually through my relationships, because if again I've gone through a few weird ones where people just left because I'm like, well, you left. I don't think I did anything wrong. Again, it wasn't a cheating thing or anything, but they decided to leave. I'm like, okay, well, you're not happy with yourself, I guess. I'll go out and try myself with somebody else next time. And then, sure enough, years down the line, like, oh, you're with this person, or you're are you still like they still come back in your life because again, your energy goes out there and hits them in the face. It's like, oh, this guy's doing well. Let me go see how he's doing. Let me just message him, right?
Mhm.
Again, I understand now. See, I understand now, right? The frequencies that we put out and the situations and the traumas all tie in to this perfect world we call life.
Hmm.
Maybe it's your haircut. You freed up.
Don't come
It's
in.
true.
No, no,
I,
that's a real
I,
thing though.
I went to the slang route right now. I said, yo,
Honestly, no,
maybe now
I'm because you there's a
Influencing
it's
the
your
world
brain.
with my
It's literally
grand looks.
go.
your
It's
head and
great.
your brain, and it is freeing. It is really
It's
freeing.
breathing right now.
Yeah.
My head is breathing
Yeah.
and it feels good. Not gonna lie, like even the look, even when I had the hair, I'm like, it's not looking great. So I'm like, you know what? Take it all off. And sure enough,
It's
when
a
I did,
fresh
I'm like,
start. It's a fresh
wow.
start.
And right away, you were like, oh
Mm.
wow, nice haircut.
Mhm.
Thanks.
It's a
Okay.
fresh
I'm
start.
like,
That looks
okay.
good on you, bud.
Thank you. I'll
I
probably keep it
agree.
like this for the whole summer though. So we'll
Why
see.
not?
Why
I was like,
not?
no, you're like honestly, your energy today is like it's so
Different.
much lighter. It's honestly, it's lighter.
Lighter. That's
Yeah.
a good term.
Yeah.
Saying
Good
you're
term.
light skin.
Oh Lord.
It's freeing. Freeing. I
Can
like
we
the
have
word.
a very deep moment without?
I know
No,
slang is known for that.
that's
Yeah,
my job here on this planet.
yeah.
He
Is
gets uncomfortable when he gets a little vulnerable, so he has to make a joke about it. I see you.
sure.
I
I read
see
from the
it.
same playbook. Don't worry. Trust
Yeah,
me. I
That's a
know.
good way. That's a good way to translate it.
I
I
see. I
throw
have
in a
this.
few.
I
See,
have a client.
I'm good at this too. That's a good way to translate it to make yourself feel comfortable.
Wow. See that? They always flip
Uh,
it up.
I have a 70-year-old client, and she's in her 70s, and she's still. If I tried to give her a compliment the other day, and then she changed the subject, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
You will not change the subject when I am trying to tell you how amazing you are. You are going to sit here
yeah,
and you're going to take it.
yep. Yep.
Wow. A lot of people can't take
A lot of
compliments.
And
people
she
like
was
that.
like,
That's not a
and she
fact.
literally was like, I heard you. Thank you. Yes. I
You
was
know how
like, you
much,
heard
you know,
it? And I was like, yes. Okay.
That's
We
something
good?
I've been learning
Okay.
to do for
Now you can
myself.
change.
That's a fact.
Now you can change the
exactly.
subject.
Because she's
Right.
gonna look back and say, you know what? This person actually pointed that out. And she'll probably look at herself in the mirror or whatever. I'm like, oh, I do look great. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sometimes again, it's hard for a lot of people, myself
Mm-hmm.
included, to take a compliment.
Yeah.
But again, when they do hear it, it's locked in the subconscious. Someone noticed, or someone is understanding, or someone is seeing something that I'm not seeing. So
And
kudos.
it's funny because she's the one who was constantly complimenting everybody. So she
That's
can
how it
give it
works, though.
out, but she
Mhm.
can never receive
That's
it.
how it
I
works.
actually had a talk with one of my best friends how she is the constant giver. So she's always giving for everybody. She shows up, she does everything for everybody. Da da da. If you try to
Mhm.
do it for her, oh, you don't have to do that. No, you can't do that. No, no. And
Mhm.
I was like, look, you know the satisfaction you get when you give me something? I need you to give me that too. Because you're
Mm,
taking, when you don't accept me giving you something, it takes
mm.
away from me. And you're actually like literally taking away. Does it feel good for you to take away from me, or do you want to give to me? And she was like,
Um,
oh. She was like, oh. She's like, I was like, you were taking away my satisfaction of giving to you.
I want
There
to
you
add
go.
to that. I want to add to that because I have a friend. My best friend is similar to that too. I want to add to that. Before I do, my phone is dying, so we have to end this soon. Um, but there is also the element. A lot of people are addicted to their own despair. I
Mm,
say that to say, with using your example, sometimes that person gives wanting to be given to, but they don't accept it because they're comfortable in feeling despair about not getting.
yeah. And they also don't feel like they deserve it.
Ultimately, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You put it even better than I would say it. They believe that they can only give. They should only give because they're not supposed to get, but they really want to get. They really do deep down inside, and they in fact sometimes get upset when they don't get and think people aren't thinking of them when that's not the case.
Mhm.
But the moment you try to give, they don't want it. The moment they try, it's a weird cycle. But we are weird people. Everybody's weird in their own way, which is also
It's
something
true.
we have to accept.
This
Very.
is true. This is very true. Well, shoot. Wow, this is a very uplifting and educational segment show. So that was good. Thank you, Miss Jones,
You know,
for bringing
it's a
it
good thing we did
upon
this
us.
today.
I know. And you know
Definitely.
what? Everything happens for a reason. Because
That's a
remember,
fact.
we were supposed to do another guest was supposed to come on, and I
Mhm.
don't think it would have been as uplifting as this has been today. And
This
I
is
don't know
true.
why that self-love popped into my head today, but I was like, this is what I need. This is what we need to talk about right now.
And it brought out everything. So I feel, like I
Yes.
said, free,
Yeah.
lighter, as you said. So thank you for that. Yes, we will spread the love, and we'll
Spread
definitely do
love.
this again soon. Once again, folks, Boyster Tokes, Miss Devin M.D. Jones, and the original, never
Yeah.
duplicated Slang Hue. Appreciate you here at Darkness with the Ginger Hue. We'll see you again soon. Peace and love. We out.
Peace.